Territories, Boosted Ether, Governance System and T3 Land. This release was not an isolated feature alone, but is comprised of three separate systems: the Boosted Ether Land Mechanic System, the first version of the Governance System, and the release of the final tier of land inside Earth 2, Tier 3, which comes with its own entirely new land mechanic system. Each of these three are standalone and unique features in their own right. But due to the fact all three systems have various levels of interconnectedness with one another, they decided to launch them as a package. Continue watching to learn more about all three of these new systems, including what each system is, how they work, and what part they play in the big picture for Earth 2. Stealth release details. Released as a stealth launch without any official announcement, the Earth 2 community was quick to discover the new Boosted Ether, Governance and Tier 3 land systems and run them through their paces. Earth 2. Players have already submitted over 600 territories worldwide, and over 70 million votes were placed by the time the first and second territories were voted in by the players, using what they consider a pilot version of their governance system. Making up part of those 70 million votes, a staggering 23 million plus essence was locked up in this voting process, representing more than 14% of the entire circulating supply of essence at the time. The phenomenal turnout demonstrated the preparedness of Earth 2 players to not only use and lock up their essence for something they want, but is also another undeniably strong sign of utility for the token-bound commodity. In the final moments leading up to the selection and locking of the first two most voted on territories, we witnessed firsthand just what our active community was capable of, with a strong last-minute rally of over 13 million essence votes being locked towards ensuring that Pärnu, Estonia, would go down in history as the very first winner of the player-voted territories and first to ever be released. Boosted Ether. Boosted Ether is first and foremost a massive bonus for all T1 and T2 landholders that is not only visible day to day, but has the potential to accrue substantially in the size of available Ether over the course of weeks, months, and possibly years. The boost mechanics are applied to all T1 and T2 tiles, and these mechanics have been designed in such a way that places full control of the potential benefits into the hands of any players that own T1 or T2 land. Every country will have its own unique pool of Boosted Ether. The amount of Boosted Ether is determined on a number of factors, including the demand for or popularity of land inside a country based on the new land price, NLP, and how many T1 or T2 tiles exist in that country. The Boosted Ether mechanics for T1 and T2 tiles function independently from T3 land. That is to say, they function without the need of any released T3 territory in that country. However, there are parts of the boost mechanics which do connect back with T3 land tiles once they have been voted and released inside a country. Once the first T3 tiles are purchased inside a territory, inside a country, any neglected Ether from the country's Boosted Ether pool is distributed among the existing T3 tiles following a few rules. This mechanism does not take anything away from T1 or T2 landowners, but rather provides an opportunity for T3 land within the same country to lure any excess neglected Ether from the Boosted Ether pool before it disperses back into Earth 2. What is Boosted Ether and how does it work? It is important to note that Boosted Ether is only an added benefit to the standard base Ether a player would have otherwise claimed for their T1 and T2 tile properties. If a player misses the opportunity to boost their T1 and T2 tile properties, they are not losing anything but rather missing out on a bonus boost. So those players who do not claim in consecutive days are not losing anything. They are just missing an opportunity to get more. The Boosted Ether system introduces a significant new update to the Earth 2 land mechanics system and presents an opportunity of benefit to all players who own T1 or T2 land. It is a huge reward for T1 and T2 landholders, benefiting those who are active on the Earth 2 platform. As mentioned above, Boosted Ether is an additional amount of Ether on top of a player's standard Ether detected from their T1 and T2 properties. It can be obtained simply by claiming Ether within a 24-hour period every day through the Claim Ether button. Every day that a player claims Ether from their T1 and T2 properties, their mentars slowly become supercharged, which is represented on the boosted ether bar, and continues to supercharge over the course of 30 days, increasing the amount of boosted ether each day. After 30 consecutive days of claiming ether, the boost will have reached its maximum supercharged boost capacity. For the time being, players will be able to boost for the full 30 days and maintain that fully supercharged boost. However, in the future there may be limitations on how long the fully supercharged boost can be maintained, and importantly, there may be ulterior PvP or other game mechanics that could also cause a player's supercharged boost bar to reset. Boosted ether, including its connection with T3 land, form an important part of the Essence tokenomic system, and we anticipate it to be around for quite some time. However, this boosted ether system, as well as other boost systems that affect the amount of ether generation, such as jewel boosts and other boosts, will immediately fall off and cease to function the moment any disinflationary mechanics from the Essence tokenomic system is activated, something we at the very least do not expect to occur for a number of months. It is worth noting that the tokenomics is designed in a way that these systems could also be reactivated depending on certain criteria, but more will be confirmed in the white paper. Boosted Ether Pool T3 Seed. The Boosted Ether system is yet another tangible benefit for T1 and T2 landholders, in this case with focus on land with a higher new land prices, NLPs. Earth 2 refers to this type of phenomena as the power of belief, where benefits will sometimes form inside of Earth 2 as a result of something being more popular or desirable or having greater power or worth. This is something that will be covered in more detail in What is the Power of Essence? Therefore, the higher NLP a T1 or T2 tile has, the higher potential boosted ether PBE it can attract. T1 tiles have always attracted more base ether spawn BS than T2 tiles. Therefore, while both use the same NLP method to determine the potential ether boost percentile EBP, if a T1 and T2 tile have the same NLP, the T1 will ultimately gain more ether boost due to the fact its BES is higher than the T2's BS. The bottom line is that almost all T1 and T2 land will have the potential to receive some form of ether boost, but some potentially more than others depending on three driving factors: T1 or T2 land, the NLP of the land, and how supercharged the mentars are. Every 24 hours, Earth 2 processes millions of data points to determine the maximum potential ether boost per country based on the NLP, number of tiles, and T1, T2 tier split of each country. This creates what is known as the Boosted Ether Pool, a pool which is unique to each country. T1 and T2 landholders have first access to attracting boosted ether from these pools. The amount of boosted ether a player attracts depends on how many T1 or T2 tiles they own in each country. Unlike T1 and T2 tiles, T3 tiles do not have the maturity to support mentars. However, T3 tiles do generate after witnessing that a player desires them enough to become their first owner, what is known as a seed, a simple yet undeveloped mentar form.